يزعم أنه نبي قال أبو سفيان فقلت أنا أقرب الناس قال أنا أدبه مني وقربوا أصحابه فجعلوني عند الظهر ثم قال لترجماني قل لهم إني سائل عن هذا الرجل فإن كذبني فكذبوه والله لولا الحياء من أن يحكموا علي كذبا لكذبت عنه وكان أقل ما شأني عنه أن قال كيف نسبه فيكم قلت هو فينا ذو نسب قال فهل لك هذا القوم منكم أحد قد قبله قلت لا قال فهل كان من آباء من ملك قلت لا قال فأشراف الناس يتبعونهم ضعفاءهم قلت بل ضعفاءهم قال يزيدونهم ينقصون قلت بل يزيدون قال فليعتدوا عنهم منهم سخط لدينه بعد أن يدخلوا فيه قلت لا قال فهل كنتم تتهمون بالكذب قبل أن يقول ما قال قلت لا قال فهل يغدر قلت لا ونحن منه في مدة لا ندري ما هو فاعل فيها قال ولم تمكنني كلمة أدخل فيها شأن غير هذا الكلمة قال فهل قاتلتم قلت لا قال وكيف كان قتالكم إياه قلت والحرب بيننا وبينهم سجال ينال منا وننال منه قال وماذا يأمركم قلت يقول اعبدوا الله ولا تشركوا به شيئا ما يقولون أباهم ويأمر بالصلاة والصدق والعفاف والصلة فقال لترجماني قل له سألتك عن نفسه عن نسبه فذكرت أنه فيكم ذو نسب فكذلك رسله تبعث في نسب قومها وسألت هل قال أحد منكم هذا القول فذكرت أن لا فقلت لو كان أحد قال هذا القول فقلت رجل يأتيني بقول قيل قبله وسألتك عن هل كان من آبائي من ملك فذكرت ألا قلت فلو كان من آبائي من ملك قلت رجل يطلب الملك وآباء أبيه وسألت هل كنتم تتهمون بالكذب قبل أن يقول ما قال فذكرت ألا فقد أعرف أنه لم يكن ليذكر الكذب على الناس ويكذب على الله وسألت أشراف الناس أتبعوه وهم ضعفاؤهم وذكرت أن الضعفاء هم اتبعوا وهم أتباع الرسل وسألتك يزيدون أم ينقصون فذكرت أنهم يزيدون وكذلك أمر الإيمان حتى يتموا وسألتك يرتد أحد سخط لدينه بعد أن يدخل فيه فذكرت أن لا فكذلك الإيمان حين تخالط بشائر القلوب وسألتك هل يغري فذكرت أن لا وكذلك الرسل وهكذا. ويأمركم بالصلاة والصدق والعفاف فإن كان ما تقول حقا فيقلبوا موضع قدمي هاتين وقد كنت أعلم أن خالد لم أكن أظن أنه منكم فلو أني أعلم أني أخذت إليه لتجسمت لقاءه ولو كنت عنده لغسلت عن قلبه ثم جاء بكتاب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى عظيم القصة فدفع إليه كتاب فقرأه فإذا فيه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Bukhari Dars, we have to always know because of valid reason. If you don't have a really extreme reason that you can't read, I will not tolerate that Bukhari Dars. And not even one day I don't tolerate. Because all my students who pass through the Bukhari Sharif, you don't absent, none of them don't tolerate, no absentees. Good. We do the reward of this hadith. Abu Yaman Hakam ibn Rafi'. This is Abu Yaman Hakam ibn Nafi Bahrani Himsi. He is from the province of Hims. He was Bahrani Salma, a name of a woman, Mawla, free slave. He is Siqa, he is Musbit, He took hadith from many great ulama like Ismail ibn Ayyash, Shu'aib ibn Hamza, and many more. Whereas his students are Imam Bukhari, Imam Ahmad, Imam Yahya Mu'in, Abu Hatim, Imam Zuhli, and many more great students study under him. Good. He passed away. He was born in 138 Hijri and he passed away in 222. شعيب عن شعيب حدثنا شعيب أخوان شعيب الظهري. This is Abu Bishr Shu'aib ibn Abi Hamza al-Quraishi al-Amawi. His father was Abu Hamza. He also is Siqa. And he's very, in his memory, he's very considered to be Hafiz. He took hadith from Tabi'een, and from among them he took the most benefit from Imam Zahri. He passed away in 162 or either 163 Hijri at the age of 70. Here comes the Sahaba of this hadith is Abu Sufyan. Abu Sufyan, very famous Sahabi, his name is Sakhr ibn Harab ibn Umayyah ibn Abd Shams ibn Abdul Manaf al-Umawi. Abu Sufyan and Abu Hanzala both are considered to be his title. He was born 10 years before Army Field. Al-Mu'mineen, Habiba radiallahu ta'ala anha and Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala, his children, or he the father. After the slain or the death of Abu Jahl, he remained the chief of Makkah al-Mukarramah. All the battle, right? All the battle, he was the main instructor or guide. At the conquest of Makkah, in the morning of Laylatul Fath, the morning of conquest, in the morning he accepted Islam. He participated in the battle of Hunayn with Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the battle of Taif. He was with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's where you find that there's hadith related to him. Rasulullah gave him over 100 camels and gave him 40 awqiyah of silver. And this was given because one of his eyes in the battle of Taif was martyred. And then the other eye in the battle of Yarmouk, under the leadership of his son Yazid, where he became a martyr. So Sufyan became a martyr. He is from Makkah, but he decided to live after the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina. So he passed away in either the 31 or 34 Hijri at the age of 86 in Medina Munawwara. Usman radiallahu ta'ala did his janazah. Now before we go into the hadith, let me recap this hadith of Hiraclius. Hadith is Hiraclius. The entire incident of Hiraclius, let me recap it. So we go back to history. So in this hadith here, Dahya Kalbi radiallahu ta'ala, Sufyan who was a Muslim, and Hiraclius, Hiraclius. You got two different pronunciations, we come into all that. They meet up at one place. So we will do the capping of the hadith, and then we go into the hadith by itself. The time when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came into the world, there were two great superpowers. One was the Roman and one was the Persian, or you can say the Iranians. They had extended their empire all the way, both of them, to the Arab Peninsula. They have even entered into the Arab Peninsula also. So far, so the Iraq, Yemen, beside these places, they take precedence or dominance in Egypt, Avon, which is Palestine, Jordan, right? Syria. They have actually had dominance here also. The people of the Persian, they were fire worshippers. We call them the Majusi. And the Roman, they were all Christians. The king of the Persian Empire is called Kisra with Kaf. Kisra. Understand? And the Roman Empire, the leader or the king, they call him Kaisar. Kaisar. And what do you mean a Kaisar? Qasr. No, Kaisar. Now, it comes to mean of Qasr. Qasr mean, in their language, to split through. And how did this came about? They had a king, and the mother she died. The king they had, senior king. The mother of this king died. So what they do, they split her tummy. They do CG, CG, and they took him out. And then he used to say, "Wakana yaftakhir bidha." He used to be proud of that. So from then, they give all these kingdoms of Rome. They give him Caesar. Now they also used to be a battle between the Persian and the Roman Empire. In 602 Isri or 614 Isri, until then they used to have battle going on. Rasulullah was born in 570 Isri, right? And 610, when he became a prophet, the people of Makkah, they all used to keep the information regarding these two huge superpowers. Because the effect that the Asarat used to mean, it used to touches the boundary of the Arab world. And they used to just be very happy and pleasant and didn't know what was going on. Understand? Now the Mushrikeen, the idol worshipper, they were very close to the Iranians or the Persians. They always think that they are close to them. And the Muslim to the Romans, because they were people of the Kitab. So when the Persian had a dominance over the Romans, and this came to the Mushrikeen of Makkah. They became very happy. And the Muslims, they were a little down. So, when Rome used to be dominant, it used to be a different situation with the Muslim. Now in 640, Rasulullah, it was 5 years after the Prophet of Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The king of Faris, the Persian Empire. Khasr, his name is Khasr Parvez. He sent a message to them. Okay? He sent a message to them. And no, he didn't send a message to them. They had a battle, and he took over. He took over many places, like Misr. He took over Misr. He took over Syria. So then, Hiraclius, who was the king of that time, he forced the army of the Iranians. And they took residence in Kustuntia, which is Istanbul. Many of their what you call it, their Lord people call it Pope, or they kill them. So what happened? They even took precedent in Baitul Maqdis also, and they hung up when they had in Baitul Maqdis had the biggest cross at that time, you understand? Or you can say yes, at that time. And what they do, they destroy it. This was given an insight to know that the Romans, they will not get her back on their feet. So what happened? The Mushrikeen of Makkah, they became very happy, and they started to celebrate. And then they started to say, very soon, the Muslim also will be eliminated. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Al-Quran announced against this. I give him a minute, right? So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed in Surah Rum, Alif Lam Mim, Ghulibatir Rum, Fi adna al-ardi wa hum min ba'dihim ghalabihim sayaghlibun, Fi bid'i sinina lillahi al-amru min qablu wa min ba'du wa yawma idhin yafrahu al-mu'minuna bi nasrillah. So this is ayat revealed. So when this verse revealed, Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala, he made a condition. He tied a condition with with the Quraysh, that the Roman, they will overpower, they will overcome, they will have dominance over the Persian. And this was based on within 10 years. So the Mushrikeen, 10 years passed and they feel and they didn't see nothing happen. So what they started to say that 100 years have passed and nothing will happen. You know? So Abu Bakr Siddiq, tried to really 9 years for them, but the situation was such that they thought that, you know, the Roman would not come back into position. So this 9 year, put it together, was the 9 year, right, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Battle of Badr. And at the same time also, the news of that the Roman has once again overcome the Persian. This caused the Muslim to be much more happy. So Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala gave 100 camel to Rasulullah sallallahu and gave out in sadaqah. So until then, from the time of the Battle of Badr all the way to the 6th Hijri, remember these things, I won't be asking them. Battle, give me a second please. Yes, yes, yes. So, Battle of Badr started in the finish of the 1st Hijri to the 2nd Hijri. And then you have, Uhud. Then you had, Khandaq. Then you had Sulh Hudaybiyah. Then you had, Umratul Qadha. And then you had, Fatih Makkah. Now, Umratul, Sulh Hudaybiyah was in the 6th Hijri. Umratul Qadha was in the 2nd Hijri. And Fatih Makkah, the Qawm Makkah was in the 8th Hijri. Siddiq Akbar went for Hajj to make I'lan wa Addin fi Nas in the 9th Hijri. And Janabi Karim Sallallahu took the Sahaba 10,000. They marched from Medina and they ended up with over 30,000 I think from Medina they marched. And they ended up over 124,000 by the time they reached for Hajjatul Wada. So during the 6th year there was some sort of reconciliation and there's some sort of peace. So Sufyan, he decided to take a caravan and to travel to Avon. On the other side, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam started to send out letters to the empires, to the kings, to the ministers in different provinces, right? So in Muharram in the 7th Hijri, Dahya Kalbi radiallahu ta'ala went with a letter to Hiraclius. On the other hand, Hiraclius, after this, he tied an oath that he's going to walk barefoot. And from Hims to Ilayya. Ilayya, which is Baitul Maqdis. This word comes in the Hadith. Iliya or Ilayya. So, Hiraclius, he decided to march towards Baitul Maqdis. On the other side, Dahya Kalbi radiallahu ta'ala took the letter and he went to Busra so that the letter could reach to Hiraclius. But then when he went to Busra, the governor there sent him to Baitul Maqdis so he can reach Hiraclius. Now, the incident of Hiraclius, you know. By y'all follow him, Diba?
Yeah.
Now Hiraclius, the second time when Rasulullah sent a letter to Hiraclius. Twice letter went to Hiraclius. One was in the 7th Hijri and the other was in Ghazwat Tabuk. But because of the narration, how they come a little, mix up. So we only talk about, individually. We talk go it individually. So the first time when Dawud came to Hiraclius, he was in Baitul Maqdis, right? So what Hiraclius did, according to the astronomical, the Ilmi Nujumi, you call this, the astronomicals, right?
Astronomers.
He made some inquiry regarding to Malikul Khattan, because they have read that the Malikul Khattan will mean that the king who will be the people of circumcision, they will take over. So he keep doing investigation all the time. So his people made inquiry and they find out who the people do circumcision is the Jewish people. Understand? So he was very scared. He had a little danger, anticipation of danger from the Jewish people. So he started with the blasphemy, he started killing them. So they started to kill all these Jewish people. In the midst, Dahya Kalbi letter reached Baitul Maqdis. Now the people who is above, in the ministry or the governor, they got the information, because remember the president, whatever he have, Wazara, which you call him minister, so they got information that that a letter came from the Arab, and the Nabi, the prophet who claiming prophethood, he sent it. And then they did some, then the ambassador, through the ambassador, they finally be circumcised. And at that time, the Arab from beginning, following the mazhab of Ismaili or Ibrahimi, they all circumcised. So after that, now they start to search for the caravan which came from the Arab, which came from Makkah. And they start to find out that who are they. So like this, Sufyan reaches Hiraclius. In this manner, Sufyan reaches to Hiraclius. Now in this hadith which is coming here, the question and answer of Hiraclius and Sufyan answer, right? And his testimony and his truthfulness, expressing his truthfulness, and then also expressing his his desire of meeting with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then he read the letter, and there was a whole set, there was tremendous noise, tremendous havoc breakout. So when that happened, then he sent out Sufyan. Now Roman is where Italy. Romans in Italy, isn't it, man? And it always was the center of the Rome. Rome is the capital of Italy, isn't it? Right? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So it always remained in Marca, the center of the Pope or the Christian. At that time, you had a senior, a great Pope, whose name was Sagatir. And all the Christians Christians used to believe in. So Hiraclius sent this letter to Sagatir. But he said that before you read this letter, find out from the Pope then. Find out from the Pope. That would these people have dominance over us or not? Because these are the people who are the people of Khatna. They are the people of circumcision. Now, there's no verification whether who took this letter or not. So, Hiraclius from Bait al-Maqdis, he went to Hims. Now, when this letter and this information reached the senior Pope then, they sent a message and said that we have got information that the Nabi, Khatamun Nabi is very close, and that is the prophet which we're talking about. So Sagatir at that time, right, he did not express his Iman. Only in the letter he responded back to Hiraclius, and he gave testimony regarding to the letter. So when Hiraclius, he saw that all the senior popes is conforming this, he said that then if our Pope is accepting it, then our people should accept it also. And they should accept the Risala, the prophethood of Rasulullah. Because why? This will be the greatest king, and will be what he's saying that he's saying that the greatest Pope of their time and who's the biggest Pope also, that he's saying is, since hopefully that the people of Rome, the people of the portion of the Romans, they will accept it. But then he recalled his situation which came in the Hadith, that when he tried to express Iman, he locked the door, and he tried to express his Iman, that what was the situation? So he said, listen, call everybody, right? And lock the door, right? And then give them the bayan. And the Muslim get to go easily. Now this here he talk for himself here now. He said you could try it out here first. And then he gives them a bayan, and then he says, Hallakum, Ya Mashur Ro, Mufid Ro, Hallakum fil Falah wa Rushd. Do you want success and you want salvation? Many people heard it, they say, oh, Hiraclius, you want to make us the slave of the Arab. So he already had saw that the people were not prepared to accept it, and he will lose his kingdom. So because of losing his wealth, his prosperity, and etc., so he was scared to accept Islam. And whatever comes in the Hadith, that's what going to be here now. So this was the first time. But he did not disrespect the letter which came from Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, as how the people of Kisra, the Persian Empire, when they got the letter, they tear up the letter. What they did? He just folded the letter and he put it away. And he said, once this letter is with us, we are okay. The second time that Dawat came to Hiraclius was when Rasulullah took 30,000 army and marched toward Tabuk. So it was the same Hiraclius at that time. And again Rasulullah said, Dahya Kalbi. Again, this time it was confirmed. The Dahya Kalbi was sent to Hiraclius to give him the dawah. Then he responded and said, you know, my people, they are not accepting that in Rome, there is a Pope. And all the Nasar, they believe in him. So he said, take this letter and go there. The Dahya Kalbi took this letter and he went there. Here, Dahya Kalbi, he went himself with his letter. But this was not conformed with a Sagatir. He was at that time the governor there or some other pope. So what he did, as soon as he arrived in Dahya Kalbi, the pope who was there or the governor, he said that this is Nabi Akhir al-Zaman, and he accepted him. And he said to Dahya Kalbi, give my salam to Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? That tell him I accepted Iman. He took a bath, he put on a new clothes, and he gathered all the people there, and he made Elan of his Kalimat Tayyibah. But what they did, they martyred him. What did they Iman? They killed him. When Dahya Kalbi saw this, immediately he returned from there and he went back to Hiraclius. So then Hiraclius said, if the people are going to do this with him, what do you think they're going to do with me? So he only made announcement of a sadaqah, his truthfulness, right? And he expressed, interest toward, Iman. But on the incident of Ghazwat Tabuk, when the letter was sent to him, he had sent a message in the Muslimun. When Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Kadibun, and you lying. But you are upon Nasraniya, bal ala Nasraniya. So this is not a conformative, his writing is not conformative with his internal and his Iman. Now, during the Khilafat of Farooq Azam radiallahu ta'ala, and when they attacked the Roman Empire, right? And the time of Yarmouk also, who was the Kaiser of Rome at that time? It was Hiraclius or somebody else or his son. There are many different aqwal regarding this. Al-Aini, through his verification, he said, during, the letter which was sent to Hiraclius during the time of Rasulullah, that was Hiraclius. After he passed away, his son Mawrik, he took over the kingdom, and he was all the way to the Khilafat of Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala. Then after that, his son, Hiraclius ibn Kaiser, which means the grandson of Hiraclius, during the time of Farooq Azam, that the battle they had, right? And Hazrat Abu Ubaidah and Khalid ibn Walid defeated them. They were defeated. And then they decided to run to Sham, all the way to Kustuntia, which is Istanbul. Now, what are the areas considered to be Rome? Because right now Rome is only Italy. You understand, Ivan?
Yeah.
Because right now, you say Rome to Kubra, that was a big Rome, Italy. And in Italy, they had the kingdom or they had the center, the main, White House. So they used to call it Romania. But before time, Rome was considered to be Kustuntia. Asia also was Rome also. Yunan also was considered, United Soviet Union was considered to be Rome. But they had their we call it Herafit, it was in Rome by itself, right? And also Kustuntia. Now after among themselves they had dispute and then they had to break it up. Then one set of them resigned was controlling Kustuntia, right? Now the Hiraclius, he was controlling, he were, the main part of Custuntia. And at that time, Custuntia, Sham, which is, Eva, was, Jordan, Syria, Misr, and Iraq. And hence also was a part of, Sham. Now from Custuntia, which is Istanbul, they used to go to Baitul Maqdis from there. Now we go now to the Hadith by itself now. An Abu Sufyan ibn Harb akhbarahu. So Abu Sufyan, that time, he was a Muslim, and now he's in the Rawi Hadith, he's a Muslim here now, radiallahu anhu. He is giving this information here now. Good. So this is what happened in the Halat Kufr and Halat Iman. Now he is doing bayan of it. You follow me now?
Yeah.
Anna Hiraclius arsala ilayhi. So Hiraclius sent for Sufyan radiallahu ta'ala. Now Hiraclius, the Arab of Hiraclius definitely with kasra, Hiraclius, right? And Roga Fatah. So Hiraclius, this is the most famous, in English we call Hercules.
Yeah.
In another Logat, the Arab is the Hag Kasra, Roga Sakin, Hir, and Qaf have Kasra, the Hirqil. Good. Hiraclius, he was on the kingdom, he was on the throne for 31 years. And that was the time of Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now, as I mentioned before that, the laqab of every, people, king, right? Of, Hiraclius, right? And they have a title called Kaiser. Now the Roman, every king which comes, you call him Kaiser. Every king which comes for the Portugal, you call Kisra. For Turkey, every king which comes, they call him Khahan. For Abyssinia, you call him Najashi. For Tiptun, which is you call him Fir'aun. And the king of which came in the Quran of Misr, you call him Aziz. Now the location of Humayyan, Yemen, you call there king, you call him in Tabbun or Tabbun. And in India you call him Dahmi. And in China you call him Darfur. Why you call him dynasty? Why the English why? Why? You man?
Yeah, no.
The dynasty.
Dynasty? No.
Yeah, the dynasty. These are the people who rule China and all these places, man. They are different. The Mughal dynasty, the Mughal this, the Mughal that. So you call it Darfur. And in Ranch, the places of which was fall on the Ranch, you call him Ghana. And the Jewish people, you call them Kaitur. And the people of Jalut was called Sabia. And the people Sabia, they were called Namrud people. The people of Sabia, they were called Namrud. Now, Hiraclius, he was the first man to invent the dinar and make it to be in transaction. Now, Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in the hadith, إذا هلك الكسرى فلا كسر بعده وإذا هلك قيصر فلا قيصر بعده. So Imam Shafi rahmatullah, what he had mentioned that, he had, took a meaning from this that when Syria, right? When Syria, which Kaiser was under, Syria and the Kaiser, when they will be destroyed, there will be no Kaiser anymore. And when Iraq was fall under Iran, or the Persian Empire, then there will be no Kisra anymore. Iraq, Syria. Now, what was the problem regarding this? Why the Arab was very worried? The Arab was worried that when the Muslims, right, will take over, then what happened? Then these people will not allow them to do business. So Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned in this hadith, that this hadith which came, this hadith is in Bukhari Sharif. إذا هلك الكسرى فلا كسر بعده وإذا هلك الكيسر فلا كيسر بعده. Very famous hadith, Bukhari Sharif hadith. So then Rasulullah gave them the glad tidings that after these people they are finished, they will not rise again. Until today, you have to hear nothing about the Romans. Since you grew up and means in World War I, which is in the 1900, Iman?
1800.
1800. You didn't hear back nothing about Rome after this guy in Hitler, when Hitler was defeated by the British Empire, right? You didn't hear back nothing about them. The Iranian Empire, they were, destroyed before that because Rome took precedent over them. Rome still was very powerful, Italy, because Hitler was from Rome, isn't it, right? Italy, right?
Germany.
Huh? German, right? But all of them was, interlocked with one another. Good. في ركب من قريش. The word rukbun is, pure for rakib. And rukbun is referred to, 10 people or more than 10 persons together into a caravan. وكانوا تجار بالشام في المدة التي كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم مات فيها أبا سفيان وكفار. And then for the time, so they were going to Syria during the time when there was a trade and treaty between the Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the apostles of Makkah, of the Quraysh. So they were going there now, right? So this period is considered to be the time of Sulh Hudaybiyah. When was this? Sulh Hudaybiyah. When they had a treaty that for 10 years there will be no battle. In the riwayat of Ibn Ishaq, right, in Sirah Ibn Hisham, right, Sirah Ibn Hisham is there regarding this for 10 years. And Abu Dawud, riwayat Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala, Ibn Umar had narrated this also. But some of the other kitabs you find, like for example in Abu Nu'aym, he narrated Abdullah ibn Dinar rahmatullah in his sanad, in his musnad. Like with Hakim Mustarik, he had mentioned it was 4 years. فَأَتَوْهُ وَهُمْ بِإِيلِيَا. Abu Sufyan and his Rufaqa, right? They came to Hiraclius. And Hiraclius and his company they were in Ilya. Ilya is referred to Baitul Maqdis. Now there are different logat regarding to Ilya. The Hamza which is there, you get Kasra. Right? And Ya have Sakin. Then Mim have Kasra. Then another Ya will come, right? Ya, right? Then the Ya come after with a big man. That is Alif. So Ilya. This is the most famous, we have recited it. And the other, recitation that you don't have a big, Ya and Alif at the end. That's Ilya. And the other way, we have recited it that the first Ya they omit it. So they read without, I mean, Ilya, they read Ilya. But what they did, they give this saking to the lam. They said Ilya, we did Ilya. And in one riwayat came Ila, we call Ila. Some say Il, which we did before, is called Allah, and Ya is called Bait. So Ilya means Baitullah. فَدَعَاهُمْ فِي مَجْلِسِهِ وَحَوْلِ عُلَمَاءِ Rome. So he invited them in his assembly, and around him was the minister of Rome. ثُمَّ دَعَاهُمْ وَدَعَا بِتُرْجِمَانِهِ. Then he invited them also, and then he invited a translator. So he put them to sit down. He said, wait, I'm going to translate it just now. This is Gujarati, or this is, this is Punjabi going on, right? So we are going to translate Punjabi, yeah? Amen?
Yeah.
So, Tarjuman, like one Arab. This is most, Tarjuman. This is the more effective one which you read. And some say that both have Turjuman. And some say Tarjaman. Go. So Tarjuman means translator. Now in this word Tarjuman, is this an Arabic word or not? Yeah? So is it a Mu'arrab or it's Arabic word? So some say that it's an Arabic word. فقال أيكم أقرب نسبا بهذا الرجل الذي يزعم أنه نبي. Which one of you is closer in relation to this person who is making claim that he's the prophet? So nasab, line age, nasab is around the line age. Qaribun nasab here is talking about. And it didn't mean here that only nasab here now, that you will have to give a comprehensive, background check. You understand? You understand, Ivan? Background here. Because why? When you have a background, relation, a blood relation, then you know the background check is it.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to talk bad about your own body, you're talking about yourself, because you know background check, my daddy, my grandfather. Then as if you put in fault on for your own one there. And you don't want to do that, Ivan. وقال أبو سفيان وقلت أنا أقرب نسبا. So that's me more close to him. Sufyan radiallahu ta'ala met with Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, line agent Abdul Manaf. Because Rasulullah says Muhammad, Rasulullah ibn Abdullah ibn Abdul Muttalib, Hashim Abdul Manaf. And Sufyan reached again. So Abu Sufyan Sakhr ibn Harb ibn Umayyah ibn Abdul Sham ibn Abdul Manaf. فقال أدنوه, bring closely, أدنوه, bring closely. فقال do أصحابه, bring closely. فجعلوهم عند ظهري. And he taught him in the ظهري, toward his feet. So Sufyan got torn when he faced him. Because when you face one another, when you want to tell somebody something, like you want to get the matter straight up with somebody, when you call them on phone, then that's you. Amen?
Yeah.
Like when you start with something on phone,
Yeah.
one thing you can't tell me about something which may ask you. I'll tell you later. So but when you get them face to face, you hard for the dodge. You hard for the dodge. Abu Sufyan he tore the face toward the people. He tore the face toward the people. Good. Because when eyes make 4 to 4, then you feel shame for tackling. ثم قال لترجمان قال لهم إني سائل هذا الرجل فإن كذبني فكذبوه. And he said, hey, tell him, I'm going to translate, listen, tell them that Sufyan, I'll be asking him regarding to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and if he do wrong bayan, fa'in kadabani, fa'in kadabim, if he do wrong bayan, tell them people if Sufyan talk wrong, right? Then I must talk when you talk wrong, right? Good. فوالله لولا الحياء من أن يأثروا علي كذبا كذبت عنه. Sufyan said, no, that if I didn't have ghayrat, if I didn't have shame, that after me left me come up and he people are going to say me, oh, a liar, they stink about you. You know some big bad stink mouth? Iman?
Yeah.
When there are amounts of people, you them together, yeah, so and so and so. I mean, this and going on here. I mean, you come out and you say, if I didn't fear that, I got shame for that, you know. Like then I should lie in regard to him. Because when we go back to Makkah now, all them 20 people will come back to one narration. What does Sufyan? He got till a sham, and he got talk like Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A shame in God. Imagine if one understands the meaning.
Yeah.
So, Yaqdiru alayya kadiban, that they will be narrating from me. Lie, they will be narrating from me lie. He did not say yakdibu, that people will be denying me, or they will be saying I'm a liar. So Sufyan was 100% plus that Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was sure about what he would say regarding Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So nobody will in front of Hiraclius, say that I'm lying. But then yes, if I should talk a lie when we go back to Makkah, then they should deal with me. God. And then Sufyan anticipated, if I lie and Hiraclius figure out that I'm lying, then the whole Meccan people repetition on tear down. If I understand this?
Yeah.
You not catch this one from this mentality before.
But can't tell you say that people sit up behind you, okay? He face Hiraclius and then they're behind him.
He is behind of the people. He is sitting behind of the people.
But the people sit behind him.
No. He is behind them.
Okay.
The people face Hiraclius. So if he facing Hiraclius, but he is behind them. Because what the word came, the word is just.
Yes, here about that.
Yes, we did. Yeah. وقربوا أصحابه فجعلوهم عند ظهره. Okay, so this here them put it behind. Sorry. So they were behind the back of Hiraclius. Correct. He was in front because he's the leader, and they put it behind, but all of their eyes was facing toward Hiraclius.
Yeah, they're behind Abu Sufyan.
God. Yes, that's correct. So now here what happening now? It was not only this, he anticipated that if Hiraclius figure out that he lied, then it's going to be a bad stain for the people of Makkah. That they left all the way here from trying to tell lie in front of the king of the Rome, king, God. And Sufyan, the narration came which he has narrated also, by Ibn Ishaq. And he said, فَوَاللَّهِ لَوْ قَدْ كَذَبْتُ. But if I should lie, مَا رَدُّ عَلَيَّ. Nobody should reject it. Nobody should read وَلَكِنِّي كُنْتُ إِمْرَأً. But I was a man, Sayyidun, I was a leader. تُكْرِمُ al-kizm. And I was in respect, I was given honor, negating kizm. وَعَلِمْتُ أَنَّ أَيْسَرَ مَا فِي ذَلِكَ. And I know this was easy for me. إِنْ أَنَا كَذَبْتُهُ أَنْ يَحْفُ ذَلِكَ عَنِّي. Then that the people should remember that from me. ثُمَّ يَتَحَدِّثُونَ بِهِ. And then they will talk about it. It's Umdatul Qari. Fatul Bari, one of the Shara, which is in Arabic for Bukhari Sharif, this is there, this riwayah. So there are many more, discussion we can talk about it. ثم كان أول ما سألني عنه أن قال كيف نسبه فيكم. So Abu Sufyan radiallahu anhu narrated here the first thing that he asked me regarding the Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam and who was closer to him. Qultu huwa fina du nasabi. So I didn't lie here, can't lie here. That he was the most highly to nasabin in his line age. He had the highest category or status in line age. Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, line age, all the way to Canaan until there is conformed. Right?
Yeah.
Who was Canaan?
Canaan.
No, you get wrong.
Yusuf alayhi salam.
Nuh alayhi salatu was salam, all the way to him, right? He just confirmed the nasab of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Perfectly comprehensive, there's no doubt again, no factor. So, in the tafsir of Alam Nashrah Laka Sadra wa Wada'na Anka Wizra, the esteem, the nobility, the highness of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam partially being expressed in that. Good. So this was the response which was given. قال هذا القول منكم أحد قبله. Did anyone, Hiraclius asked me that what this individual is saying, that anybody ever claimed it before? The word qattu with fatha and dam and tashdid with ta. Some say quttu also. Some say qatta also. And some say qatt. There's so many Arabs, there's so many, Yoga things who are qattu. So I said quttu la. I said but nobody had claimed this before. So Sufyan quickly, he didn't delay at all. You think you get a point there now? That you get a point, but you know that he gets an interrogation here. That the greatest FBI was in the FBI, the people of federal and people before these people nowadays. They use technology to be intelligent agent. Before that, the people use the brain to be intelligent agent. So I say, Hiraclius gets a point. That yes, he created new things. Because why? He thought that Hiraclius created something new which he created. But he was not. He was, in a different world. So, now, Ma'adallah, he didn't say that he's Junoon. He didn't say that, he is, insane. Or he didn't say that, magic or, to overcome him. As how the people of Makkah say, he didn't say that. You mind follow?
Yeah.
Good. قال فَلْكَانَ مِنْ آبَائِهِمْ Malik. Did anybody before me, within this period that they were Sultan? They were king before? Quickly, Sufyan did the account. قال وأشراف الناس يتبعونه أم ضعفاء? The rich people following him or the poor people? Now the people of high esteem, the people of wealth, mal, no, he says no. He said you put the bal ضعفاء, but the poor people, the people who are weak, the people who are in desperation, and they have living a life of destitute. Now, they are even, chosen Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam also that he is weak. And Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala, Umar Farooq radiallahu, Usman radiallahu ta'ala, Ali ibn Abi Talib, beside him, there were many more Sahaba too, very wealthy, was well off. But then we could say that Sufyan radiallahu ta'ala, he had chose the Aksariya, the majority. So in a society, in a locality, when the rich people started to create defect and started to live a life of recklessness, right? So then you will give the conclusion that these people and that the majority of the people of wealth, you will give consideration in this factor. If I follow?
Yeah.
Because those are the people in the majority who will say, that they are not following, and in the weak one, the majority of the people following. قال أيزيدون أم ينقصون? They are increasing or they are decreasing. قلت فلا يزيد. قال فهل يرتد أحد منهم سخطا لدينه بعد أن يدخل فيه. So therefore, anyone leave the religion. Does anyone become apostate by being displeased with the deen after they enter into the deen? Sahatan lidinihi. So either you dislike the religion because of not understand the religion, or because of a person have the greed of getting wealth. That's the reason why they became murtad. So with a comprehensive mind or heart, they will not enter into the religion. So when he wanted to see the people who accepted Islam, if they enter Islam without a full mind, that no one is after Muhammad. No one do not leave the religion after coming to the deen. Sufyan was well and convinced that coming into Islam is not for the greed of mata'i dunya. It is all based upon, inshira'i qalb, the opening of the heart. Now, Ubaydullah ibn Jash, who was the husband of Habiba, and he was the son-in-law of Abu Sufyan. When he migrated to Abyssinia, who is the person Ubaydullah ibn Jash, in his heart, greed of wealth came into his heart, and he became a Christian. So his irtidad, his apostasy was based upon mata'id dunya. It was not because of sakhatun lideen Islam. It was not because of sakhatun lideen Islam. So he did, even though his son-in-law means sakhatun means displeased, became a Christian, right? He did not mention it. And it cannot be that he did not know his son-in-law did not, his son-in-law, he did not become a murtad. This cannot be. Oh. قال فهل كنتم تتهمون بالكذب قبل أن يقولوا ما قال. Does any one of you تتهمون accusing? Accused Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for lying before he said, before he's saying what he said. This is the seventh question, brothers. Are you following?
Yeah.
Abid, are you following? So before becoming a prophethood, this is a very serious accusation. Accusation, it just you accuse somebody. So being on a righteous platform, for being on a very righteous platform, you have to look at accusation. Did this man been accused before for any aspect or not? This is a very very comprehensive quality or aspect in life. He didn't ask that if Rasul ever speak a lie. Did he ask that? No. He said he didn't ask you to speak a lie. Because you can speak a lie, it sounds like a lie, but you have interpretation. But accusation of speaking a lie, he asked regard to that. So when accusation is being negated, so indirectly also kizbun also is being negated. So it is indirectly, it is a diplomatic question here to prove that this individual is truthful and his dawah is truthful. Anybody follow it?
Yeah.
That's the reason why when he went on the mountain, he said, Ya Sabah, Ya Sabaha. And he called the people of Makkah. All of them gathered together, understand? Because they believe whatever he's saying. Qultullah, qala fal yakhbiru or yakhduru. Does he break promise? Does he break qultullah? وَنَحْنُ مِنْهُ فِي مُدَّةٍ لَا نَدْرِي مَا هُوَ فَاعِلٌ فِيهِ. But he never breaks a promise. But there is a session is going on. There is a period is going on. Happened. And we don't know what he's really doing, what he's saying, what he's doing. وَلَمْ تُمَكِّنِّي كَلِمَةً أَدْخَلَ فِيهَا شَيْئًا غَيْرَ هَذِهِ الْكَلِمَةِ. Abu Sufyan is saying this, do this conversation, that if I could enter, allow them to make it was probably, if there were probability or possibility for me to enter a war. And the Khalafiyah, then I should put it in. So I had to give answer without an intention of doing the khasaya, the bayan, and the fadail, and the shamal, and the Nabi. I had to give the confession. Because the way of the diplomatic question, these people who are interrogated at the airport, they took up this hadith of Hiraclius, they translated, they set it up, and when you stop at the airport and when they carry in the interrogation, this is the way they question you. Yeah. They don't question you on a direct base. When they question one question, they get an answer of a couple answers. But we Muslims, we are so backward. We don't know our deen. And we ulama, that's why most of the ulama, you can't mess with them. I always tell you that the ulama who study the kitab, understand the hadith, you can make the lady say, na make a fall go in the mall because we can't get them. Good. So here Sufyan is saying, Walam tumakkinni kalimatan. I did not have the command, Makkah give me command to enter into anything except these two things regarding to the Muslim. وَنَحْنُ فِي مُدَّةِ لَا نَدْرِي مَا هُوَ فَاعِلٌ. Only this is all I can put inside. So I was very convinced that he never breaks promise. Understand? I had a shuru with sadr. I had an open, wide, satisfactory in my heart. But then we have a dispute. We have a difference. Now, while we were talking, Hiraclius, Sufyan mentioned something which he had doubt in regard to it. But Hiraclius did not pay attention. For Wallahi, man taqra ilayhi minni. This came in the Hadith also. In a riwayat of Fatul Bari, Sufyan mentioned, I meant something with taraddud. Taraddud means I doubted him. But Hiraclius did not even pay any attention toward me. And likewise also in a mursal riwayat of Urwa, rahmatullah alayhi, when the question was asked, فَهَلْ يَغْدِرُ or يَغْدُرُ إِذَا آهَدَ. So what Sufyan said, he said, no, la illa an يَغْدِرَ fi hudnatihi hadhi. No, that only in this place here, hudna, in the hudna here the treaty that he is making treasury in it. Treasury in it he's doing. Understand? So then Sufyan asked him, Hiraclius, why are you scared about it? So then Sufyan mentioned that my people who have alliance, right? What Sufyan said? That his people, Nabi who he had alliance with, we went against the people who Rasulullah had alliance with. So then Sufyan then in kuntum bada'tum fa'antum aqdu, that if you started it, then you're the one who are deceiving. Because if you were not started it for, then he should not continue. So do you have battle? Then they say that they mean the word qatal to qatalakum. So the word came in and he said that, do you have battle? Hiraclius had put qatal to move. He put battle, he put fighting with the nisbah toward the kuffar. He doesn't say فَهَلْ قَاتَلَكُمْ. He never says قَاتَلَكُمْ, that he fights with you. You fight with him. Because this was the ihtiram, the honor, the ta'zim, the respect, and the sanctity for Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which Hiraclius had shown in his lecture regarding the discussion with Sufyan. Good. Hold to now. Sufyan said, yes, we do have possibility. Then he asked, okay, how is it? كان قاتلكم إياه. No, كان يعني توديرا. كان قتالكم إياه. That our battle like this. قلت الحرب بيننا وبين السجار. That the battle between us and them is like when you pull a drum. He harm us and we harm him also meaning. You pull a drum, here to there. Not all the time he is, successful, and not all the time we are successful. So this is what is meant here. Al-harbu sijalun. Al-harbu bayna sijalun. So in a bucket, sijalun means bucket. So when a bucket is being into a well, so sometimes the bucket be in one person's hand, they take the water, and then another person's hand, then they take the water. So it's vice versa. So and sometimes they don't have, the bucket in the well have a what you call pulley. You have a pulley upon it which is that of the well, across the well have a wood and the pulley is there. So, so the pulley will release the bucket, full of water, break it up, somebody take it, and somebody else take it like this. And this is how a way, a battle or a war is being. Now, Allama ibn Hajar Asqalani rahmatullahi alayhi was a great man of Lughat also. The word harbun is ismi jins, and sijalu is ismi jama. You understand? Now, Allama he said, no. Sijalun is not ismijin, it's jama. Because harbun is ismijin. So they bring the khabar here, right? Of jama. Understand? There's no problem. Harb is singular because ismijin. Ismijins they don't have to have plural. You might follow?
Yeah.
Ismijins. Right? The earth is ismijins, and all will come back on the earth, fall under the earth. So there's nothing wrong being plural for it, understand? Go on. So we need to go back in more detail regarding call, famada yakmur, what command he gave, what advice he's giving. So the first set of questions was regarding to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam of his ahwal was regard to the characteristic of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now he's asking about his ta'limat here now. قَالَ فَمَاذَا يَأْمُرُكُمْ? Because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was sent as an amir and a nahi. He came Bashira wa Nadira. He came as a glad tidings and Nazir as a warner on the call. Call to call. عُبُدُ اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا وَاتَّقُوا مَا يَقُولُ آبَائِكُمْ. No? This is the medium where I don't have to go to translation regarding these things. So in this question here, the answer which Sufyan gave, وَاتْرُكُوا مَا يَقُولُ آبَاؤُكُمْ, and stop doing what he forepays doing. Because Hiraclius is a Christian, and Nasara they believe in Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, and they believe in the Prophet of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, as if he's telling Hiraclius that you don't believe, he's against the belief of you what you have. And your belief will have no importance, have no room regarding it. Believe. In ibadat, what is the meaning of worship? And the master regard to sujood, making prostration. Should we do it or not? Oh, time finished. Should we do it or not? The meaning of ibadat by itself and the matter related to prostration. Ask me to do it or not?
No.
Okay, so how are you going to shirk? So the category of shirk. Because we do aqidah here. How much you know about aqsam shirk? How much you know about that?
Yes, so you should only be made to Allah. I'm just already on a career.
there are many categories of shirk. And the aqidah of the mushrikeen, we get to it. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. Want to carry it here?
Yeah.
You will have to teach your name with it. Not the time we wasted, I sit down and teach you. Good. Now, one in shirk, ta'addud ilahi, multiple, God, the believer of that, like the Majus. Now, they have a multiple, belief in God. And what we can say that the specific sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as-sifat al-muqtassum bihi, in any state to associate someone else. For example, the person say that Allah is Allah, God is God. But then you got some malaika and agwa. They are doing the affairs of the people of the world, like i'tai mal and children, etc. That they are Allah get them a malaika, they to give picnic and to give wealth. He gives them that responsibility. So Allah gives them the choice of that. You understand, Iman?
Yeah.
Allah gives them the choice of that. So they become freedom, they independent regard to this factor here. They don't need to make retract to anyone. Good. As how a king in the world, he has his own choice. So in establishing and in exercising this duty or responsibility, they have the choice. So sometimes they are using their ikhtiyar, their choice, right? Like how a king will do sometime, you know. So this was the belief of the people of Makkah. You ever hear this before, Iman? Eh?
No.
You didn't hear this before. You said not to teach it. And this is the Quran. وَلَئِن سَأَلْتَهُ, I'm bringing with Dalil. Man khalaqa as-samawati wal ard la yaqulunna Allah. If you ask them regarding who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who had created the sky and the heaven, they will say definitely, surely is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then when you will come to ibadah, ma na'budu illa liyuqarribuna ila Allah zulfa. Ma na'buduhum, and we not worshipping them illa except to bring us close to Allah. And then what is saying, these are our shufa'a, these are our interceders, may Allah. And then at the time of the Hajj, they will say, لَبَّيْكَ لَا شَرِيكَ لَبَّيْكَ لَكَ إِلَّا شَرِيكًا هُوَ لَكَ تَمْلِكُهُ وَمَا مَلَكَ. So they hold Allah as the greatest, right? And they hold him as Qadir, they hold him as Qadir Mutlaq. Generally, he has all the abilities. And also Allah give the choice, the ikhtiyarat, you know, to certain individuals. So this is what the people in Makkah used to believe. Now, the aqidah of the mushrikeen, during the days of Jahiliyyah, this is what the people of the time of Rasul used to understand. Understand? Now, there's one shirk fit tashri'ah. Shar'un, shirk fit tashri'ah. Meaning that, you know, halal and haram, the choice is not individually or separately proven. And this is the Aqidah with the people, the Nasara. They used to hold regarding their Pope. That there is nothing which is specified as Almighty God. You know? So the Pope, they had this, this had this, they had this, they call it,
Preservation.
Preservation. They had this preservation. Now, what they used to do, Allama ibn Asir rahmatullah in his kitab Al-Kamil, he have written there that in so and so year, the the senior pope, they will come together and they'll make decision, you know, this is halal and that is haram. This is haram and that is halal. And this is the aqidah with the ahbar. اتخذوا أحبارهم ورهبانهم أربابا من دون الله والمسيح ابن مريم. This was the aqidah of the Jewish people also. Regard to their, what do you call the people? Their Lord, Rahib. Rahib we call it. Now, when this verse revealed, اتخذوا أحبارهم ورهبانهم أربابا من دون الله والمسيح ابن مريم. I used to read this name by Surah Tawbah. So Adi ibn Hatim radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who was a Christian before, is these people an ibadat? No ibadat? He asked this question to Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, is there ibadat, not ibadat? So then why Arbaba we mentioned here? So then Rasulullah said, Ama innahum lam yakunu ya'budunahum, that they do not worship, Walakin kanu idha halu shay istahallu. That when they want to make something halal, they will make it halal. Wa idha haramu alayhim shay haramu. And when they want to make something haram upon the people, they make something haram upon them. So this is what mentioned, shirk fit tashri'. There is another shirk also, Iman, shirk fit taqleed. Now, shirk fit taqleed, which is a very interesting one here. Now the Imams and the Mujtahideen, they will not accept this. Taqleed, Aimma Mujtahideen, their opinion, they do not accept this nowhere. They say, Inna al-hukm illa lillah. That all the halal and haram is from Rasulullah, is from Dalil al-Qat'i. The Imma Aimma Mujtahid, they can't say whether it's halal or haram. So that's the reason why, right? Dalil al-Qat'i, we follow Dalil al-Qat'i. And Taqleed now, you know, Taqleed follow Ar-Rasikhuna fil ilmi. Whatever istinbat comes out there, whatever istikhraj comes out there, whatever fatawa comes out there, right? Then we have to have i'timad upon it. We have to have, so this is called Taqleed. What you call it? You call it Taqleed. So this is what we call taqleed. So when somebody comes out, with that, and you make ijtihad, right? Then we follow it. وَيَأْمُرُنَا بِالصَّلَاةِ وَالصِّدْقِ وَالْعَفَافِ وَالصِّلَةِ. All these are the great qualities of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sidq and sadaqah, you know, they are also the same word. فقال للترجمان قل له سألتك عن نسبه. We don't read the letter, right? I mean, we don't read the letter, right? سألتك عن نسبه فذكرت أنه فيكم ذو نسب. I will just read translation here. فكذلك الرسل تبعث في نسب قومه. This is how a prophet who has been sent into his among his people regard to his lineage. So he tell them that I asked in regard to his lineage, and this will be said to me. So now, Hiraclius is giving confirmation regarding to whatever was mentioned by Sufyan. And he's given enlightenment. He's putting Tabasira into it. That what you mentioned here, you know, this is the sensibility of Hiraclius. That he is saying that that's the reason why all the prophets which came before, these are the characteristics that they have to possess. So he had the knowledge regard to this. So this was the brilliantness or the brilliancy of Hiraclius. And he did it in sequence. Or he did it mix up together. 10, 11 question was asked here. But he never mentioned nothing. This riwayat came also in Kitab al-Jihad. So in every question which was asked in Kitab al-Jihad, he gives sequence answer to them. Because I did mention before that that angel prophet who come, they have to be the highest in akhlaq, attributes, in morality, everything you think about within their people. They don't be below, they be outstanding. Because we وَسَأَلْتُكَ هَلْ قَالَ أَحَدٌ مِّنْكُمْ هَذَا الْقَوْلِ فَذَكَرْتُ أَنْ لَا. I ask you that whatever قَالَ أَحَدٌ مِّنْكُمْ, whatever, any one of you are saying regarding him, does anyone say this? You said no. So now he given, a response to that, which means Rasulullah is claiming prophethood, right?
Yeah.
Prophethood is claiming. فَقُلْتُ لَوْ كَانَ أَحَدًا قَالَ هَذَا الْقَوْلِ. Now the answer comes. Because what he reckoned doing this hadith, he asked the question and keep asking, but then he repeat the question, وَسَأَلْتُكَ وَسَأَلْتُكَ وَسَأَلْتُكَ. He repeat the question and then give the answer. فَقُلْتُ لَوْ كَانَ أَحَدٌ خبر قال هذا القول قبله فقلت لا رجل يأتني بقول قيل قبله. So, where is the word رجل?
يأتي.
Good. يأتي بقول قيل قبله. Now, that if anyone had given this da'wah before, made this claim, so you will say, oh, this man before made this claim before, so he's following the attitude of that man too. But when nobody has made this claim, لَقُلْتُ رَجُلًا يَأْتِي بِقَوْلِ قِيلَ قَبْلَهُ, before him. So he is not following nobody here, he's not making iktiba of no one. So this waqiyat, in the reality, this is a prophet. And he's given elan of prophethood. How many years had passed in the time of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam to Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? 500 and odd years. And nobody had claimed prophethood. Nobody has stood during that time frame 570 years to claim prophethood. And nobody during the lifetime of Nabi Karim during the 40 year also. And after the prophethood also, nobody claimed prophethood also after the death of prophet or claim that they're going to become prophet. Yes. After the decree of the death of Prophet, people trying to kill Musaylaba in Kadhaba and Sa. Isa is coming after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
But he's not coming to claim prophethood. He's coming to complete his mission. He's coming as an ambassador. He's coming as an ambassador now to complete his mission. So Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, from this day, the question of Hiraclius put us into the depth that Rasulullah was not making iqtida of no one and ittiba of no one. Regarding his claim of nubuwwah. Allah made him a prophet, and that's the reason why. Fasda' lima tu'mar, fasda' lima tu'mar. No. وَسَأَلْتُكَ هَلْ كَانَ مِنْ آبَائِهِ مِنْ مَلَكٍ فَذَكَرْتُ Allah. See me repeat the question here now. فَقُلْتُ لَوْ كَانَ مِنْ آبَائِهِ مِنْ مَلَكٍ قُلْتُ رَجُلٌ يَتْلُو مَلَكِهِ يَا أَبِيهِ. So if a man, he was, his father was, a king, or he was, a chief or so before, then when he passed away, then he got to claim it now. And you said, no, it's not like this. So both of this call here, both of the statements before, هَلْ قَالَ أَحَدٌ مِّنْكُمْ هَذَا الْقَوْلِ. So this is regard to dignity of internal. The first one, هَلْ قَالَ أَحَدٌ مِّنْكُمْ هَذَا الْقَوْلِ. This is izzat, this is respect and honor of internal. And the other question, هَلْ كَانَ مِنْ آبَائِهِ مَلَكٍ. This is regard to prosperity, this is regard to, we call it, wealth, which is externally. So Hiraclius, when you look at when he makes tafsirah, he sheds some light on these questions, on the second question, the third question. And he said, kultu, when he wanted kultu, so it means that there's no need for any fikr, pondering, and any, wondering here. So all the answers you get after that by saying kultu. So there was no need for any depth understanding. وَسَأَلْتُكَ هَلْ كُنْتُمْ تَتَّهِمُونَ بِالْكِذْبِ قَبْلَ أَنْ يَقُولُوا مَا قَالَ فَذَكَرْتُ اللَّهِ. You said la. فَقَدْ أَعْرَفُوا فَقَدْ أَعْرِفُوا أَنَّهُ لَمْ يَكُنْ لِي يَذْرَ الْكِذْبِ لِي يَذْرَ الْكِذْبِ عَلَى النَّاسِ وَيَكْذِبُ عَلى اللَّهِ. Hiraclius, let me ask you this thing, that if he ever claimed the Bukhari, anybody ever been forced about the Kaaba? Before Nubuwwat, did anybody have an allegation regarding him? No. So now when in Mu'amalat a person is free from any accusation and any setting up or any, what you call it, iftira, then why would they go and tie iftara ala Allah al-kadhib? Why would they go and try to accuse, put an accusation that, oh, that I am so and so from Allah? A man in his entire life has spoken a lie, daf'atan, waqi'atan, not even nothing wrong. So why would he, in the work of the Almighty God, go and go lie there? But this was the objective, that for prophethood, Hiraclius himself was convinced that this person, he is a prophet, because why? This is the quality that which a prophet possessed before they claimed prophethood. And then, Hiraclius, being a man of the books, he was convinced that the ahwal related to Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he was aware about that. Now, that was in book. Now, in verbally he verbally he he's getting confirmation by asking question and getting answer. وَسَأَلْتُكَ أَشْرَافُ الْمَنَامِ اتَّبَعُوا أَمْ ضُعَفَاءَ فذكرت أن الضعفاء هم اتبعوا وهم اتباع الرسل هو أتباعه الرسل. So we find that in all time, the du'afa, which Hiraclius he acknowledged, But who the people follow the Prophet? The people who follow the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam are the people who are in the weak category. So Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam and Mursaleen, you find the majority of the people who follow me, they are the weak. Look, Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. And they were being persecuted tremendously. So in the beginning you find that the da'if, du'afa'una, they will take the first step. You know, they will say that bike in the da'wah of the Prophet. So when the prophethood is being elevated, then you find that the others now, they will fall in, they will between one after the other. Good. Now, the concept of miracle here, when the Imam did take out that, it was not, in the beginning, only the weak category people will follow, you know, and the rich people will not follow. What he's trying to say here, that in the beginning, right, you find that the weak people following. Because while Rasulullah started his dawah, Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala following, Hamza radiallahu ta'ala following, understand? وَسَأَلْتُكَ أَيَزِيدُونَ أَنْ يَنْقُصُونَ ذَكَرْتُ أَنَّهُمْ يَزِيدُونَ وَكَذَلِكَ أَمْرُ الْإِيمَانِ حَتَّى يُتِمَّ. And this is how Iman is. It keeps progressing. Iman keeps progressing once Amal and Amal. Understand? Iman getting into a wider category. And then people started إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ. Then people are made by large groups and groups, they will start to enter Iman. وَسَأَلْتُكَ أَيَرْتَدُّ أَحْدٌ سَخَطَ لِدِينِهِ بَعْدَ أَنْ يَدْخُلَ فِيهِ فَذَكَرْتُ اللَّهِ. This was regard to being disliked. And dislikeness when you didn't come in properly into the religion. وَكَذَلِكَ إِيمَانْ حِينَ تُخَالِطُ. This is the answer. Bashashatul Qulub, he given this enlightenment here. And this is how Iman is, that when Iman gets into the system, it is the delightness of Iman, it gets into the brightness, it gets into the shining of the heart. You know, the Bashashatul Qalb, it opens the heart, it makes inshira sadr, and then it becomes comprehensive. Then no one becomes murtad. Nobody becomes apostate. A person who will become apostate is that person who don't have inshirah itself. Don't have an open heart. His heart is not being expanded toward Islam. You know what you call bashasha? Happiness, or I call it, extreme happiness. Like when you get a guest come and you really was looking out for this guest. And that happiness which comes in your face, you call it bashasha, and you interpret as, inshirah or itminan. وَسَأَلْتُكَ هَلْ يَغْفِرُ فَذَكَرْتُ اللَّهِ. He said no. That was the deceit. He said no. So here, you're asking here about talking about deception. And deception is also been interpreted differently to break promise, to break when you promise somebody. وَكَذَلِكَ الرُّسُلَ تَغْدِرُ. This is the quality of Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. They don't break their promise, they do not break their arrangement. Understand? They always make all sacrifice. All make full effort to fulfill whatever he had agree upon. Good. وَسَأَلْتُكَ بِمَا يَأْمُرُكُمْ. What command? What he gave you commanded to do, to obey Allah, to worship Allah, and not to ascribe partner with him. وَيَنْهَاكُمْ عَنْ إِبَادَةِ الْأَوْثَانِ وَيَأْمُرُكُمْ بِالصَّلَاةِ وَالصِّدْقِ وَالْعَفَافِ, and chastity. But here in this hadith, he mentions Sila. So he's saying here that Sila is not mentioned here because why? The Hadith is not in full tartib. فإن كان ما تقول حقا فسيملك موضع قدمي هاتين وقد كنت أعلم أنه خالد لم أكن أظن أنه منكم. And if this is it, what you are saying, ما تقول حقا is the truth, then he will be فسيملك موضع قدم, he will take precedence, he will take dominance beneath my feet. Where I'm there, وقد كنت, and I'm convinced, وقد كنت أعلم, that I am convinced أنه خالد, that he will be distinct, or he will be exposed. Okay? He will be coming out. Khalid will be coming out. لم أكن أظن أنه منكم. But I did not realize, I did not think that he will be among you. The Jews and the Christians, they never think. They never had a thought in their mind, that Rasulullah will come from Quraysh and Makkah. This riwayat here, right, is coming also in Kitab al-Jihad also. And where Hiraclius had did everything with he given a tafsirah. He gave enlightenment to every question which he had in Tartib, and also in Kitab al-Tafsir. In Kitab al-Tafsir, where this word came, فإن كان ما تقول حقا فسيملك موضع قدمي هاتين وقد كنتم على أنه خالد لم أكن أظن أنه منكم. He said, إيكم ما تقول, whatever you say فيه حقا فإنه نبي. He is the prophet. He is the prophet. That these are the alamat. These are all the signs of nubuwwat. So Hiraclius was saying it with conviction. Because when he says, right, فَسَيَمْلِكُ مَوْضِعَ قَدَمَيْ, that he will take dominance. He will become the owner of what is beneath my feet. That he is the Nabi. Understand? So Hiraclius, with his experience, with his ilm what he had, he was very sure regard to what's going to happen in the future, because it is written in the Torah and the Injil. Islam of Hiraclius. Hiraclius, he accepted Islam wholeheartedly or not? Hafiz ibn Abdul Barr rahmatullah alayhi had written that he accepted Islam, that which we have read before also. But from dalail and evidence from the hadith, he was not a Muslim. After seeing the hatred of his people, inni qultu maqalati, he said that, anifan, akhtabiru, I have said in the hadith mentioned that I have said just now, this statement, just akhtabiru biha, checking with you, or trying you, shiddatukum, your aggressiveness or your extremeness, ala dinikum, upon your religion, faqad ra'aytu, so I've seen it. So he said that he was trying to try them upon the deen, to see how stern they are upon the deen, right? Good. Then in the battle in the Yarmouk in the 8th Hijri, he came along with an army facing the Muslim. Then in the battle of Tabuk, he had made a huge preparation, right? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent again da'wah to him, and it was very close for him to accept it, but he didn't become a Muslim. In Musnad Ahmad, it is in there, any Muslim, which I said before, but Rasulullah said that you are lying. So what we could say, Hafiz ibn Abdul Barr, with the evidence, within the light of his evidence, right? That فَآمِنُوا بِهِ, we could say that he believes, فَآمِنْ بِهِ, that he believes in whatever Rasul came with. Right? He gave the testimony of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In his heart, he had the fruit, he had the belief. What came unto Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but he did not steadfast, he did not stay steadfast upon that. And he did not make amal upon it. So having Islam, your mind toward Islam, that was all with him. He made preference to his kingdom, right? And because of his kingdom, he did not prepare to give up his kingdom, and he remained how he was. So this is what is mentioned by Hafiz Ibn Abdul Barr regarding conclusion of Hiraclius.
Good.